You're trying to make music with great sounds, and that is the problem. If your tracks feel busy but still flat and unfocused, this is probably why. So today I want to show you why the most boring sounds in your music are secretly the most important ones. Once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it in your own tracks. And I've put all of this into a free cheat sheet you can download from the link below. So think about ice cream. Everyone chases the fancy flavours, but in my opinion, vanilla is underrated. We use vanilla as a negative term to mean boring or standard, but vanilla ice cream can be classy, complex, it can taste rich and expensive, but it's never overbearing. It lets everything else around it shine. Say you open your door, you want to make every sound count, so you add crazy drums, aggressive bass, huge chords, a massive lead, a headline vocal, effects everywhere, but then your brain can't focus on all of it, because when everything is interesting, nothing stands out. It's like painting every wall in your house a different bright colour. It's total chaos. But a classic interior design trick is to keep most walls neutral, then make one wall bold. This feature wall pops out because everything around it is restrained. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a loop where every sound is fighting for your attention. Now here's the same idea, but I've swapped out some of the sounds for vanilla versions. Listen to how the main idea and the message just feels more focused. So if you deliberately use some sounds that are plain, subtle, even a bit boring, these sounds step back away from the spotlight. And that's what allows your important sounds to sit forward and take the limelight. And when you understand how to use your headline sounds to unfold your arrangement naturally, that is when tracks start writing themselves. I've put my entire system for doing this into a training program called the Loop to Track Workout. It trains you to go from a loop to a finished track in 60 to 90 minutes. I'll put a link below. So what exactly do I mean by vanilla sounds? Well, back in my early producing years, I used to love using clicky kicks and thwacky, duffy snares that gave you a headache. This was my producer equivalent of eating bright blue bubblegum ice cream every day. Sure, those sounds do have their place, but over time I started gravitating towards smaller, subtler sounds that just do the job without stealing attention. Vanilla, if you will. So I consider vanilla sounds to be neat, classy, controlled. They sit perfectly in their place. For example, when choosing a kick, I now tend to avoid longer kicks that have tons and tons of low end. Instead, I like my kicks to sit in the perfect pocket with enough low end, but also short enough, leaving enough room for a bass to live under or around it. Or for a snare, I like to have the right amount of snap and tone and tail, but not so much that it distracts from the core sounds. And hi-hats, they can get sharp or obtrusive or annoying in the top end. I like them to do their thing up top, but not in that harsh, distracting way. Now let me show you a different type of vanilla sound. This one's a texture trick I use all the time. I've taken this process noise. On its own, it's nothing special. But then I use some echo to create texture. This ear candy lives in the stereo field behind everything else. It fills space and adds movement, but it never detracts from the other sounds or takes the spotlight. You barely notice it's there, but listen when I take it out, the track feels emptier, less glued together. That's what good vanilla does. You don't notice it until it's gone. That's why I love analog style echo, because it degrades and melts and has vibe. It's richer and gooier. Basic digital delay stays too present and too defined. And here's another reason why vanilla wins. I've got this really simple 808 preset I've made in Serum. It's basic, it's solid, it's got beefy mid-harmonics, but it never grabs too much attention. And because it's my preset, I love reusing it. Everyone thinks that a signature comes from their superstar sounds and their big moments, but actually it's often the boring stuff underneath that makes a track sound like a U-track. The consistent vanilla palette is the DNA. So stock up on your vanilla, your bread and butter sounds, and not only will you never get stuck searching through 500 kick or snare or 808 samples, but when you start to repurpose your sounds, your tracks start to feel like you. So remember, your tracks don't need more interesting sounds, they need fewer. Pick your one or two centerpiece sounds, let everything else be more vanilla, and watch how much clearer your musical vision becomes. And to be clear, I'm not saying use bad sounds, because vanilla comes in varying qualities, right? There's basic supermarket vanilla, then there's luxury, organic, Madagascan vanilla from a posh farm shop. A vanilla kick or a snare or a pad should still sound great, it just shouldn't steal the attention from what matters, because no one likes a show-off, especially a show-off hi-hat. I've put all of this into a free cheat sheet, types of vanilla sounds, how to think in terms of core versus vanilla, and how to build a clear sound hierarchy. You can grab it from the link below. And go and watch this video to discover how to arrange these sounds into a finished track.